What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Quarantuhan series where we talk to different personalities, pick their brains, and ask them the randomest of questions about anything under the sun. My name is Anton Fausto. Usually, whenever I don't understand something, I go to my dad or my mom, and then I ask, Ma, Pa, paano ba to? But today, we have a spectacular guest to be on the other side of that question naman. She's one of the best television hosts in our country, a model, and she actually has the longest pregnancy I have ever witnessed. Kasi yung billboard niya with the Magungay, it's been on EDSA for so long and no one has asked kung hindi pa siya nanganganak. Just kidding aside, she's the proud mother of Lucia and Carmen, the loving wife to JC-Intal, former King Eagle. Welcome to the show, Bianca Gonzalez-Intal. Hello, hello.
Hi! I love that intro. Thank you. And yes, the longest pregnant woman. That's right. That baby in my tummy is already a year and 7 months old.
Oh, wow. Did you ever show her that, like, you say you're driving on EDSA, did you ever point to that billboard and say, hey, you're on the billboard, but then in my belly?
Actually, the owners of the company, so the company is V Pharma, they gave me a nice canvas framed photo of one of the layouts from that shoot. So it's here in our house. So whenever we pass it, I go, Carmen, that's you inside mommy's tummy. I don't know if she really understands yet.
But then there's no naman. There's no logo. I mean, the picture in your house.
No. It's just
the
a
picture.
photo. Yes, yes.
But
Hi,
anyway,
nice to finally meet you. And
yeah,
thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for saying yes. I was gonna say na,
Of course.
we're gonna talk about your show a little later, Paano Ba To? But then my mom, Rose Fausto, FQ Mom, aka FQ Mom, she's been on your show more than a couple of, as in, if you say a couple of times, kulang pa yun eh. But she's been on your show many, many times. And I'm actually I'm thankful that she has been on your show and that you invited her. Because if that never happened, I probably would not be having this interview with you right now.
Of course not. We have more connections than you think. So that this would have really happened even if I hadn't met your mom. Of course, you work with Robbie, who's like a little brother to me. So that could have been another way. But yeah, your mom is wonderful. Needless to say, she's been in 3 Paano Ba To videos already, and another one actually on Monday, which was the one you know about.
Yeah. And she would tell her family that those are her, parang, because of those episodes, she would still get messages up to today saying na, oh, I saw you on Paano Ba To, ganyan. Like, I'm a fan. And they ask her more mga questions and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I want to thank you again for your time. I know that you said that you homeschool. Is it just Carmen or both your kids? Do you homeschool both of them?
Okay, so my eldest is Lucia. She is 4 years and 7 months. She's the one who I homeschool. And Carmen, who's 1 year, 7 months, she's just playing around. Yeah.
What age do moms stop counting the months? Because you know how, like, when the kids are young, like they say, oh, 18 months, diba? Or parang, or 5 weeks.
I think when they hit 2.
2.
When they hit 2, you're just like 2 and 3 and 4. I just said 4.7 because I don't know why I said it, but yeah.
So
usually
you're
you
still
count
counting.
months till 2. Not actively, except that it's so easy to remember because my 2 daughters were both born in October, 6 days apart. So that's why it's just easily transferable to the ate because I've counted the bunso. Yeah.
How do birthdays
Wait, I have a
work?
question, sorry.
Yeah.
You are the bunso of 3, right?
I'm the bunso. Yes.
I'm also the bunso of 3, by the
Oh.
way. I have an older brother and then a sister in the middle.
Okay.
So bunsos unite, yeah.
I honestly love being a bunso because for parents, I don't know, maybe you could share like how it is with your kids. When you're on your first kid, parang ano pa yun eh, medyo trial mode na you kind of make mistakes here and there. You're still kind of learning the ropes. But when you come to the next kid, you kind of get it. So for me, I'm the third kid na. So parang by the time it came to me, and both my brothers are great, by the way, overachievers and everything. So I feel like they didn't have to worry na masyado with like making sure that, I don't trip and all those stuff. Does it get easier as the next kid comes along?
I wouldn't say it gets easier, but you are right in that you're more running with the first than you are with the second. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but Hindi, uso naman photo albums when you were younger, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have
Okay,
a
so
compartment
my
album.
kuya has like 15 photo albums. JC din pangalan ng kuya ko, by the way. Juan Carlos 1 until Juan Carlos 15. My ate has around, I'd say 9. Isa 1 to Isa 9.
Oh no.
Bianca has like 5. So I think as you have more kids, you're also,
Not as
how do you
amused.
say this?
I'll be the one to say it. Kasi if you say it, it sounds mean kasi you're the mom. But then baka nga, not as amusing na. Kasi the tricks, like, let's say the first time your kid would go down a slide. If I would imagine, if I were to have kids, like if I see my kid go down the slide, like, wow, ang galing. But if it's like the third kid, and it's, okay, I've seen that. Like, oh, come on, is there any, don't you have any other new tricks for me to see?
for 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 sure it's that the first kid you're like, oh, first slice of first taste of mango, you're gonna take
Uh-uh,
a
uh-uh.
video, oh, first taste of apple. And with the second, it was more of like, oh, ang dami na yung fruits na nakain, I have zero videos on my phone. So I don't know what it is, but I think that is something that happened to a lot of parents.
There's a lot of things changing with how kids are being raised now.
Oh
You
yeah.
you said that you're homeschooling. Do you think that, especially now because of this pandemic, is homeschooling, in your opinion, the future of education? Like, it's gonna be a lot more common na hindi na nag-enroll sa mga big schools.
Oh man, I have no idea. I am big school born and bred. I am
Oh,
um, a product of La Salle Zobel from prep to fourth year high school and then Ateneo for college. So I believe in um, traditional schools, safe to say. So I don't know how I feel about homeschool being the future because I'm also a working parent. So both me and my husband work, and uh, homeschooling takes a different kind of, I guess, commitment and time from a parent. If it's the parent who will homeschool, not a
yeah.
hired tutor. So I don't know. I don't know about that. And I have a lot of friends also struggling with the same problem now because, for example, you know Sab Magalona?
Yes, yes. I mean, we're not
There. So
friends, but of course I
Sab
know
has
her.
an ate, and then she made kwento that her ate had to buy 4 gadgets because she has 4 kids. And so,
Oh.
like, wow, imagine how many other parents have to buy gadgets for
Mhm.
multiple children or even just one child. So I don't know. That's something so new, especially for a country like ours. So we'll see.
But there's
We'll
no,
see.
you have to buy the, I guess there are added stresses, like you have to buy gadgets, you have to do this, and pero wala nang traffic, wala nang like, I would imagine wala nang bullying, or yung mga problems that happen in a big school. But then how come you're homeschooling your kid, and are you planning to do that to a certain age?
No, so the only reason I'm homeschooling my daughter is because she was actually enrolled in a physical school prior to
Oh,
this.
okay.
Yes. And so what happened was when the lockdown was announced, I took it upon myself to do a homeschool. And I say like this because it's really just an hour and a half every morning that
Oh,
we
okay.
go on free learning sites. It's not like we follow modules because she's still not in big school. She's still pre-kinder. Madaming free, fun online sites. And
Okay,
I
I should
just
check
do
that out.
that so that parang games lang 'yun para sa iyo.
Uh-uh,
Oo.
uh-uh.
I did that because I wanted to instill in her the habit that every day anak may school. So we literally
Hmm.
dress up, have a specific place where we do school, and then dress up into pambahay again after. Just so she has the consciousness that
Yeah.
every day a kid like me goes to school and weekends have no school. So it's more of that. It's more of habit building. That's why I did it. And kasi feeling ko in the future, ako din yung mahihirapan if imagine she had summer for like what, 8 months, nothing. And then I have to tell her na, no, we have to go to school every day. Parang for me, ayoko yon. Ayoko yung struggle na I'll make her understand why there's school after
Mm.
months without school. So I took it upon myself lang to do that. And of course, I didn't want the learning to stop. And I want her to just enjoy learning.
Now we're talking about your kids, talking about your family naman. When this whole pandemic, like when it hit the fan, and then you realize that okay, this is a real thing, it's gonna be a real problem. How did you, as the ilaw ng tahanan, how did you take care of your household? Parang what do you remember the initial reaction, and what were the first things you did when it all like broke out and went loose?
Oh, for sure. Initial reaction was, what, 15 days at home? Paano yung trabaho ko? Paano yung trabaho ng asawa ko? It was really that. Parang it was unthinkable that we would all be not allowed to go out for 15 days. Fast forward to today and we're over 100 days, right? So
Mhm.
it was more of that. It was initial shock na parang work ka agad. What about work? And I remember, kasi di ba parang they announced the lockdown 2 days before the actual lockdown.
Yeah, yeah. It was like a Friday,
So,
tapos Sunday yung
yes. So I
lockdown.
remember I just came from a grocery run. So I was parang kampante that for like the next 2 weeks, at least we have supplies at home. So it was more of that. And then when, as the 15 days went by and we were seeing every day in the news how serious this was, it started to go from a paano na ako point of view to like, oh man, this problem is bigger than all of us. And it's not about us. It's like a global thing. And it was so surreal because in my family, I'm the only one who lives here in the Philippines. So my brother and my mom are in the States. My sister's in London. And we've always communicated like this, video, for over 9 years. Video
Sanay ka
call
na.
lang kami. Sanay kami, yeah. And so now it was so weird because no one was rushing to go to work. We felt closer than ever, kumbaga. And it was this weird comfort that even though things are so uncertain and challenging, na my siblings halfway around the world from me are experiencing exactly the same thing. So there's this feeling na, yun, parang at least you're not alone, if that
Uh-huh.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that we're talking about, closeness and comfort, how do you, as the mother, how do you like raise the morale of the household, like keeping everybody, di naman keeping everybody happy kasi imposible naman na you're happy 24/7. But then like to generally, kasi everywhere you look, it's just, diba, more cases. This issue came out. It's just negativity. How do you stay positive in a time like this?
Paano ba? I think my husband has a lot to do with it because he's the he is the jokester, the makulit one in the home. So definitely, I'm the misinformation girl. I mean, not misinformation,
Yeah, misinformation.
misinformation.
Ma'am information
I,
na lang.
I share like the news that everyone has to know. My husband brings energy and laughter into our home. I always tell him that. And me naman, I just make sure that the house is running, that we have the supplies that we need, from food to basic house needs. Our ates here at home are very happy when they get to choose home delivery. So for example, I'll tell them, ano, gusto niyo mag-chicken inasal tonight? Yay! Or gusto niyo
Oh.
Yeah, so may ganun din kami. So I think that's also one thing that we all, I think, realized this quarantine, the simple joys that make
Yeah.
us happy, that we used to just like brush away before. So I'd say it's a happy household because even our ates here at home would help us take care of the kids. They're very jolly. Konting Korean novela lang na makita nila, kilig na kilig sila. So it was never a heavy feeling in the house. Although a lot of times when they watch the news, sila yung nagmumura sa TV. Hay nako, ganyan. It's so funny. They're so socially and
Involved.
politically involved.
That's
Yes, may
good.
mga feelings sila. Yeah. Because we encourage them also to keep to watch the news all the time. So they have their own
Uh-huh.
opinions as well, which we love.
You mentioned how JC is the one who parang was the jokester. Do you think na kasi in a couple in I would imagine in a marriage, so husband and a wife, the husband gets to be the jokester and the one that brings in the fun because the wife is the one who's making sure that everything's in order and we have food and everything. Because I also experienced that with my parents. My dad is the like before when we were kids. When he comes home, it's fun time. And I hopefully when I grow up and if I do get married, I want to get that role. Like if I were to pick, am I gonna be the disciplinarian, the one who makes sure the rules are followed, or the fun one? do you think it plays both ways, or parang it just happened that you guys have those roles?
In our particular case, you are so right. JC's like the one, let's play, let's jump. And I'm like, it's lights out already, 9 p.m. lights out. Definitely I am the
Wow,
disciplinarian.
aga.
But yeah, because we have small kids. They're very, very small. So
Yeah, that's sorry. That's young and for young
I
young
don't
people.
know how common it is because I have friends naman that the husband is the disciplinarian and the mom
Oh.
is the more lax, chill one. So I guess iba-iba. Iba-iba per couple. But sa amin, it's weird because prior to being a mom, I was super chill. Like, anything goes. For some reason, when I became a mom, and I guess I adjusted because I saw that my husband couldn't resist his two daughters. Hindi niya matiis. So, I adjusted and I had to be the disciplinarian kasi hindi naman parehong pwede kaming parang we'll give them everything they
Yeah.
want. So,
Was it?
parang I think you ease into your roles
Okay.
for some reason, yeah.
There was no conversation na parang, okay, one of us has to be the bad cop and not, it just, you just sort of naturally
Yeah,
adjusted to your roles
yes, definitely. Yeah, but
and
you get what
everything
I
like
mean
that.
about the
Yeah.
adjustment. Like, for example,
Yeah,
pag
yeah.
siya yung masungit ngayon, ikaw medyo, hindi ka, alam mo yun, you will temper
Oh.
your, di ba?
Um,
Even in relationships like that, you find
yeah.
this flow and adjustment.
Talking about parang your family and the quarantine, I'm guessing you're spending more time with your family than you have ever before. Has there been anything that you parang found out ngayon na lang? Like for the first time, di naman first time, but now it's the only time I'm actually really hearing my family's business voice. So like when my dad's in a meeting, he laughs super loud, or when my brother is, when I could sense na parang medyo naiinis siya during this work thing. Is there anything interesting you learned from your family during the quarantine?
Yes, one is that I thought, because prior to this quarantine and ever since nagkamalay ako, I've always been very career oriented, super busy, like doing a million things at the same time. And so I never thought na kaya ko to stay just home for such a long period of time. And on the other hand, my husband, who is really generally a homebody, siya pala, hindi niya kaya to stay put in one place for a long time. So like, ultimo, oh, I need to buy medicine. I need to buy something. Parang, he will
Naghahanap ng
find
ano.
ways, yes, to just
Gets.
kind of leave. So, that was a bit of a revelation to me.
Uh-huh. I did the same thing. Me naman, well, no surprise. I really love going out. So what I've been doing now is I'm helping the Sacred Heart Novitiate because my tita works there. They make bread and they sell it. So I've been selling around the villages. But just something then to like you'll get kind of sweaty and have that sort of physical work. But you were
It's door
mentioning
to
that,
door? You
yeah,
walk?
this, so yeah. Oh no. I bring a car because there's a lot of bread. So at
Okay.
Viber
No,
group.
but kasi sabi mo sweaty eh. So sabi ko, walking door to door?
Oh, sweaty because okay, here's the thing. You would imagine that delivering bread is kind of easy, especially if I don't make the bread, so you'd think madali siya. But the hardest part is the waiting. So you doorbell, wait. Someone comes out, you give the bread, and then you wait because they're gonna bring the money out. And then sometimes wala pang change. But that's the time. I would say that's the time I get sweaty. And I feel like in the Philippines naman, just breathing creates sweat. Anyway, I wanted to ask a question pag a while
Sure.
ago. It slipped my mind.
So,
When we were talking about the news and like how everywhere you look, there's news about COVID or politics. Basta, medyo nakaka-depress stuff. Have there been any Viber groups that you have left? Because it's just all like, oh, here's the new news. Here's the new patient. Here's the new ganyan-ganyan.
um,
I've
no
left
naman.
like two.
I'm very tolerant of,
Uh-huh.
yun nga, the fear-mongering titas
Uh-huh.
and titas in Viber chat groups, di ba? That's a term. I'm quite tolerant, and even though I read, there is parang for some reason I have a internal filter that what's the word? That parang yun nga, I can tolerate it. But what I do though, which I had to consciously tell myself and remind myself, lalo na nung first few weeks of quarantine, I took Sundays as a break from the news. I had
That's
to
good.
because I was getting masungit and my husband at one point was saying like, please put your phone down. Kasi nga, he saw that my energy diba? Your energy
It
changes
changes. Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're overwhelmed. So as much as possible, Sunday I don't check the news,
yeah.
and that helps. For me, that helps a lot.
Yeah, there was a short time nung medyo umpisa naman ng quarantine na I didn't really look forward to our kasi every meal na would be together, lunch and dinner
Right.
pagage with the fam. Sometimes I didn't look forward to it and they know it mga kasi one politician or once
Yeah,
one like COVID mention happens, bigla lang boom, like it's a whole train of COVID and this is how the virus works. But then okay, my question
for
is in
sure.
Viber groups, would you be the one? Do you just read it or are you the one who sends articles and news also?
Okay, did you see that Instagram? Parang there were some things that spread on Instagram. Parang the quarantine personality.
Oh
So
no, I haven't
there's
seen this.
like
What's
the
this?
oh, okay. So it's just like an animation na parang there are different quarantine personalities. The one who always
Okay.
sleeps, the one who super works out, the one who's baking and cooking, the one who is on Zoom calls with friends all day.
Yeah.
There's the one who, parang there's one called informant who like passes all the articles around. So that is my quarantine personality. I
The
am the
informant.
informant,
Oh
but
my.
but I don't pass the COVID count. Not articles like that. It's always
Okay.
articles that are
What's your
like
what are your topic repertoire?
it's either the funny memes or the
Okay.
opinion pieces or I remember this article that I shared with everyone what that was about grief and collective grief. So mas ganon. It wasn't
Okay.
it's not fear mongering or nakaka bad vibes
Oh, thank God.
na articles that I share. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's more the ones that are insightful or fun or yun, yung mga ganon.
I would want you in my Viber group. I would prefer to see more of those type of
I will.
messages.
I now that I have your number, I'll forward you a few of the ones that
Okay.
I really like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sige, sige. Thank you. Anyway, back to like family life during the quarantine. You mentioned that you're a very busy career oriented person. Your mom also, your wife. How do you compartmentalize the different times? Because now we don't have the physical separation. Now, when I'm in the office, it is work time. Now, how do you separate me time, mommy time, and wife time?
I think me time does not exist, sadly.
Oh no.
Um, Work time and family time definitely so difficult. And you said that you feel it, right? Before we used to physically leave
Yeah.
and you know that it's work mode. But now it's exactly little corners in our house that we set up these video calls, right? It's so different. But I've explained na kasi to my daughters that, okay, mommy has work. And then I have this specific room that I go to, this room that I am in now, where I work. So me naman, when I'm in work mode, I'm really in work mode. And my kids know, well, my toddler knows, the baby's too young to understand. My kid and my husband and our ates at home know. I tell them that this is my work schedule for the day. And when I'm done with work, yun, I go straight to the kids. How to compartmentalize? Wala, you just really have to, parang it's a skill di ba? Turning it on and off. I
Yeah.
don't know if it is for you. So you just have to find a way to do that quicker. Of course, dressing up for work helps. Having a specific place where you do your work helps also. Prepping your mind before work helps. Like, for example, before an interview, I tell my husband, just because my work is, for example, I interview someone at 4 p.m., doesn't mean that my work starts at 4 p.m. I'm trying to
It starts
get in the
before.
headspace. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get in the headspace before the interview. So I explained it to him this way. Sabi ko, for example, you have a game at 6 p.m. Di ba your call time is 4 p.m. That's because you have to like get in the zone. Sabi ko, it's the same for me. I just seem like I'm talking for work, but we do have to mentally prepare. So it's more of that. Really being true to your schedule and preparing for work when work is on, and then at least yun nga, no traffic before we get home and
Yeah.
kumbaga lie down in bed, and in my
Yeah.
case hug my kids. So
Mhm.
my of course there are small ups. We're always grateful to still be working from home, but it does come with its challenges.
Yeah. How does I have a question. Like, does JC still like get to train? Like, does he dribble a ball at home, or do you have a ring at home?
So what they have been doing, my husband is with the Phoenix Fuel Masters. They really have MWF training Zoom, like it's a
Oh,
Zoom,
okay.
training with the whole team with their trainers so that everyone trains together. What my husband did pa is when we saw that tatagal to, he bought his own gym equipment, a few
Oh, that's
things
good.
like a few um, mats, elastics, I don't know what you call that, but parang hurdles that he can jump over, a few
Okay.
weights, um, just a few basic things so that he can get a workout in even
Yeah.
from home. But they don't have, needless to say, they don't have scrimmage yet.
Yeah.
And then in our village basketball court, it's not yet really allowed.
Yeah.
Parang recently it was allowed. So that's the struggle for them. Kasi iba naman yung you're physically fit.
Yeah.
Iba yung you're sanay, like you said, to dribble
With
a
the
ball
game.
and pass the
Mm-mm.
ball. Yeah. So that's the challenge for them now.
Okay, now let's move on to your series, your show, Paano Ba To? How did this whole thing start?
I love that
And
you call it a show.
sorry, what do you like to call it? Is it a series? Is it a
Oh gosh. Yeah, I guess I call it a video series. So the
uh-huh.
story behind it is before I started on TV, I used to blog, and this was blogging back in the time that blogging was just posting your thoughts like an online diary, not blogging like it is today, na monetized and all that.
Mhm.
So I started my blog in college in 2003. Oh my God, you're probably a baby. How old were you in
I was
2003?
7. I was 7 years old
Oh
then.
my gosh, I'm so dated. Okay, so I started a blog. I was in college, and then I guess doon ko nakita na I really loved writing. Lalo na I was comm in Ateneo, so it was within the
Oh,
sphere of my.
I was Comtech naman.
Oh,
The other
okay,
course
yeah,
though,
that
but
was a
then
new
close enough.
course when I
Ah,
was
okay.
in college. So yeah, doon ko nakita na I really loved writing, and I guess if you love writing, your dream is eventually to write a book someday. But I didn't write fiction; that wasn't my thing. I like just writing, whether it's an opinion piece or a story about someone. So when it was in 2013, I think, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I want to write a book, but what's it going to be about? And so I tried to think of, di ba they say, parang to find your core competency, you have to find the intersection of
Oh,
what
yeah.
is it that I have, what is it that
The
they
world
need.
needs, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, your mom has a great quote about
Yeah,
that as
I've heard
well.
that so many
So
times naman, yeah.
In my case, in the many years of that blogging, and because of the nature of my work on TV, which was talk shows, and then my first was a debate show, I found that for some reason, people came to me asking for either advice or what I thought about things, like my opinion on things. So sabi ko, okay, maybe I'll write a book that gives advice. It's sort of like I remember specifically going to a national bookstore branch, looking at if there was anything that existed like that. Parang like a Bo Sanchez but for younger people. Parang ganyan eh.
And
And I
not
looked and I
finance?
remember, not finance, about life.
Ah, okay.
So, something like a self-help book but for teens, 20s, and 30s. And I looked and parang wala na mas youth catered. So that's when I started doing my research. I did research, I think 9 months, and then I ended up writing the book in 3 months. So by end of 2014, I released the book, which was called Paano Ba To? And the title is Paano Ba To? Because, yun nga, it was parang advice giving. And so I kept thinking, I knew I wanted a title that was Tagalog, that was a phrase that people actually said. Like you said earlier in your
Yeah.
intro, di ba? Paano
Yeah.
ba to? It's something that really comes natural. So I'm so grateful that that was the title that I decided on. So the book was released in 2014. 2 years after, I said, do I want to release another book or what am I gonna do? I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but I'm not the type to. Hi
Welcome back to my
guys! Today
channel.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I
Get
can't,
ready
I
with
can't.
me.
It's not my personality. I also don't cook. I'm not into fashion and beauty. At that time, I wasn't traveling as much because I was a mom, a new mom. So sabi ko, what can my YouTube channel be? And I was thinking for the longest time kung ano-ano pa yung mga concept ko till I saw the book on the desk and I realized, oh my God, that's what the channel will be. Because iba yung advice that you read from a book, iba if you see someone talking about it who actually went through it. So that is how the YouTube channel started.
Yeah.
And then the year after, 2017, I wanted to make it like a live event series, which your mom was a part of, the third one, which was
Yeah.
on money. Meaning the book and the video series come to life. So it's a small group of like
Yeah.
20 to 30
Was this the
who
one with
sign
Nico
up.
Ramos?
Yes, Nico had one.
Yeah,
Also.
I enjoy that. I love that one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Nico's great. Nico Bolzico, and Susie of Magic 89.9. They were in
Yeah.
the same session. So it's a live thing where people can ask their questions. It's very intimate. But yun, the video of that also comes out. So that is the story and timeline of Paano Ba To. Parang I over-answered your question.
No,
Mom.
no, that's
Sorry.
I didn't have to ask. I didn't have to ask that many follow up ones now because I got the whole story, and I find it really good that you get thought leaders or people na parang expertise. Kasi I mean, it's not like we can be experts in every single field. So it's nice that you tap different resources. But how do you keep coming out? Because it's been years now. How do you keep coming out with new content and you never run out of things to say? It's a challenge I also face. Now, how do you come up with something fresh again and again?
You know how? You want to know the secret? Oh.
Yes, please.
Okay, so when I conceptualized Paano Ba To as a YouTube channel, I had three major considerations before deciding. One was, I said that I wanted to be in the video, but the video would not be about me.
Okay.
Because like you said, I'm not an expert. And Paano Ba To as a book is not really me as an expert. It's more of me sharing my experiences, and I hope it works for them too. But in the book, I already also have plenty guest advisors. So I had, in the book, there was Atom Araulio, Isa Calzado. I know there was Ann Curtis, Tony Gonzaga. So people who had great experience in that field, I asked them about. So yun, one was that. The video physically has me, but it's not about me. It's not me talking about me.
Yeah.
My second consideration was that I needed something that I could do quickly because I was asking for the time of people who were busy. I was asking the time of Boy Abunda, of Anthony Pangilinan, of Vice Ganda, whoever. So I needed it to be quick because if I tell them, can you block off, for example, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's a bit hard to schedule for very, very busy people. But if I say, hey, can I take 10 minutes of your time? They're like, sure. And third consideration was, I said I wanted a concept that was sustainable. Meaning, hindi pwede yung after I do like 10 videos, parang wala na akong maisip. And Paano Ba To for me would be the epitome of what sustainable is because people will never run out of problems.
Things
There will
or,
always
or
be
questions.
yes, there will always be a problem and a new way that a problem is experienced or presented. So that is the secret of how I have never run out of topics to do.
Wow. Yeah, and you don't I think the perfect way that since you frame your show in a question, it's not like it's not it's not the answer. It's not like example, financial advice. You can only stick to financial advice like because you have the Paano Ba To, you can branch out to like industries that are not even related. But now I want to focus
Yes.
on one specific topic. You had a great episode on 5 tips on finding your political voice.
Cool. Thank you for watching that.
Thank you for making
I
it. And
hope
I
it
think
was
it's something.
helpful.
Yeah, it really was, and it's something I'm struggling with now. So I'm 23. I'm kind of late to the being aware phase. Like I until now naman, honestly, I don't like politics. Like I don't enjoy it. Like if I'm gonna spend my time watching something, I'll watch a TV show or I'll watch comedy. I always like just keeping it light and everything. But then now, like I feel like it's that necessary hassle. I would say like you have to do it. Like you have to be informed, and it's great that you have that. what do you do after? Like, let's say for people who don't have the platform of Bianca Gonzalez, for example, and they can't really influence that many people. Let's say they'll get informed, they'll read the news, they'll read all the COVID updates in the Viber group. What do they do next?
Grabe naman yung like Bianca Gonzalez, sobra naman. There are many, many more people who have more. You know what? I gave a talk recently to an Ateneo de Davao, to the Ateneo de Davao Student Council, and that was
On Zoom. I mean, online naman. I'm guessing you didn't
yes, online.
go to Davao. Okay.
That was one of the things that I said, and I'll share two things. So first was that your opinion matters, even if you have 100 followers or 10,000 followers or 1,000,000 followers. Your opinion
Just
matters
like yourself.
and holds weight. No, your question kasi was how about
Yeah,
for other
yeah.
people who don't have a huge platform, right?
Mhm.
Your opinion matters and holds weight because opinions are persuasive. Opinions are not facts, but opinions must always be based on facts. So that is where watching the news comes in from reliable sources.
Okay,
Watching
yeah.
and reading the news from reliable sources is important for you to be informed. Kasi your opinion has to be based on facts. If your opinion is based on misinformation, that is dangerous because nga, opinions are persuasive. And even if you say, oh, konti lang naman followers ko or ano, it's not just about social media. Your opinion will be persuasive to your family, to your friends. That will spread. Your friends will be persuaded by you with a certain thing and they'll share it with their friends, will share it with their friends. So that's why your opinion matters. And that's why no matter if you think na, oh, my opinion doesn't count naman eh, it actually does in your sphere and in your circles. Second point, I shared with a student group. Kasi someone asked during the open forum na parang they feel pressured to talk because people are asking them to use their platform, ganyan, ganyan. And somebody asked me, can you give us some parang words of encouragement na, because I mentioned there in prior na not because, parang just because you didn't post doesn't mean you have no opinion on it. Parang I shared that. So somebody asked, can you give us some words of parang comfort or positive words so that we don't feel bad if we don't share our opinion? Parang ganon. Take note again that this was a group of student leaders. So sabi ko lang sa kanila that I feel personally that I had to tell them that they chose to be student leaders. Or for example, for you, you chose to be a host in a public sphere. And so that comes with a certain responsibility. Meaning the student leaders that I was talking to, if people in their school are asking them to speak up, kumbaga right nila yon to ask them because they ran for student council and they have a certain responsibility to their constituents. Parang ganyan. I told them that being in a position of leadership or in a position of public service or in a position of influence, ano siya eh, there is a price to pay for the life you choose, kumbaga. So, yun. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Paul?
yeah. Are you familiar with the film A Thousand Cuts, the one about
Yes.
Maria Ressa and Rapper? I watched that recently, and it is actually it is the scariest film. I don't like watching horror movies, but it's the scariest movie that I've ever seen, and it's the only one that's actually made me. It gave me trouble sleeping again. The first time that happened, I was like 8 years old, and I watched a scary movie. But this time, it was real. Parang these stuff are really happening. Now we were talking about your family a while ago. When do you think is like the right age to bring in your kids on this? Like, do you talk to them openly about like what's happening in politics?
Politics, no, because my firstborn is just 4. When I'll start talking to her about it, I really don't know. I assume, wow, high schoolish age, maybe. I don't know eh. I don't know when, but
You'll see when they get
we'll
there.
see when it happens. But parang basing on my childhood, parang I was aware already of that. Maybe yun nga. Kasi di ba you studied in mga history, ganyan. So, maybe late grade school is when I will talk to them about it.
Whoa, that's it. Beaten naman. And whoa, nagpalit ako ng shirt. Don't worry guys, that was just part 1. So I'll be coming out with part 2 of my conversation with Bianca next week, Friday. And I asked her a bunch of honest questions and got some honest answers. Medyo nagayete naman yung usapan natin next week. So thanks again for watching and I'll see you next week.